It all started with a phone call. I was boiling a pot full of spaghetti and whistling along to Rossini's The Thieving Magpie, which has to be the perfect music for cooking pasta. I heard it ringing, but I wanted to ignore it. The spaghetti was nearly done. It didn't stop. Finally, I had to give in. It was getting closer and closer. I lowered the flame and listened to the other voice at the end. 10 minutes, please, she said. That's all we need to understand each other. Who was she? What did she want from me? When we finished the call, I had no idea that it would plunge me into a world of misery and intrigue beyond anything I could have imagined. Just like that, she was gone, leaving me to grapple with the echoes of her words. For better or for worse, that phone call had set me on a path that would change my life forever. My personal journey with Haruki Murakami started in 2018. At the fresh age of 30, with a lot of pressures in my life, I found comfort and escape within the pages of Murakami's novels. The first gift I received from this author was Killing Commendatore, a novel that not only captivated my imagination, but also provided a refuge from the stresses of everyday's routine. The protagonist of Killing Commendatore has just decided to start a new chapter and escape to the mountains. He shuts himself away into a cabin and then climbs down a well. Whether it's a quiet conversation between characters or the description of a simple meal, every word is soaked with a sense of depth and significance. In the month that followed, I continued to explore Murakami's literary landscape, each novel offering a unique journey into the depths of the human psyche. Of course, you have to work his novels off as a bucket list, and you can't skip his list without reading the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle. Now, you might ask yourself why I didn't discuss this book before on my channel. It has the simple reason that I wanted to reread it and grant the novel the place it deserves. The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle has been published in German twice, and each edition has its own unique aspects. The first edition is titled Mr. Aufziehvogel, which translates to Mr. Wind-Up Bird. Unfortunately, it had some parts of the original Japanese text removed, so it wasn't a complete translation. The title for the second edition is Die Chroniken des Aufziehvogels, which means The Chronicles of the Wind-Up Bird. This version was translated by the great Ursula Gräfe and has been published in 2020. The second edition is a complete translation of the original text, including the parts that were left out in the first edition. Because it's more complete, readers get the full story as Murakami intended it. These German editions provide readers with different experiences of the same novel, with the second edition being the more comprehensive and accurate translation. That's the simple reason you had to wait so long for my video. The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is a novel that tells the story of Todo Okada, an ordinary man whose life takes a series of strange and unexpected turns. At the start of the novel, Todo is living a quiet life in Tokyo with his wife, Kumiko. He has recently quit his job and spends his days at home, while Kumiko works at a publishing company. One day, their cat goes missing, and soon after, Kumiko also disappears without a trace. Toru's search for his wife leads him into a surreal and mysterious world filled with unusual characters and bizarre events. Along the way, he encounters different characters, like Malta Kano, a woman with psychic abilities who offers to help Toru find his wife. Then there's Kreta Kano, Malta's sister, who has a mysterious past and becomes entangled in Toru's life. Then we have Noboru Wataya, Kumiko's powerful and manipulative brother, who becomes a central figure in the misery surrounding her disappearance. Meika Sahara, a teenage girl who befriends Toru and shares a unique perspective on life and death. And Lieutenant Mamiya, an old soldier who shares his experiences from World War II. As Toru delves deeper into the misery, he discovers that his journey is not just about finding Kumiko, but also about uncovering hidden truth about himself and the world around him. The novel blends elements of reality and fantasy, making readers question what is real and what is unreal. Through Toru's experiences, Murakami explores themes of identity, memory, and the search for meaning in life. A well plays a significant role in this story. This well is located in an abandoned house near Toru's home and becomes a place of deep reflection and misery for him. While looking for his cat and after Kumiko disappears, Toru starts spending time at this well. One day, he decides to climb down into it. The well is dark, quiet, and isolated from the outside world, and Toru uses it as a place to think deeply and try to make sense of everything happening in his life. He finds that being in the well helps him connect with his inner thoughts and feelings in a way he can't do elsewhere. While in the well, Toru has strange, dreamlike experiences. These moments in the well symbolize his journey into his subconscious mind, where he confronts his fears, memories, and desires. It's a place where reality and imagination mix, helping him uncover hidden truth about himself and his relationship with Kumiko. The well is an important symbol in the novel, representing Toru's descent into the depths of his own mind and the mysterious, often confusing nature of life. It shows how sometimes, to find answers, we need to look deep within ourselves, even if it's a bit scary or even uncomfortable. And then we have Noboru Wataya. The relationship between Toru and Noboru is complicated and tense. Noboru Wataya is Toru's brother-in-law and his nemesis. Despite this family connection, Toru and Noboru do not get along well. Noboru is a powerful and influential man, working as a politician and media personality. He is ambitious, manipulative, and has a strong presence, which contrasts sharply with Toru's quiet and unassuming nature. Toru distrusts and dislikes Noboru. He feels that Noboru is controlling and has a dark, unsettling influence on Kumiko. As the story moves forward, Toru's negative feelings toward Noboru grow stronger. He starts to believe that Noboru is somehow involved in Kumiko's mysterious disappearance. This guy represents the opposite of everything Toru values.
We're going to start with a developing story now. A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck southern Turkey and northwest Syria earlier today. It is one of the strongest earthquakes in recorded history to hit this area.
30,000 people are now known to have died in Turkey and Syria following Monday's devastating earthquakes.
While turning overseas, another powerful earthquake rattled Turkey and Syria today. The death toll in the region is approaching 45,000.
Hatay. That's where's my family from. I was in a state of shock. For weeks, I just functioned, tried to help from a distance and get through everyday life. I couldn't let go of the images from Hatay. People of all ages trapped under the rubble. How must they have felt? And believe me, the stories we heard from there made even the toughest person go numb. While I spent the next few weeks without any books or videos, a thought flashed through my mind. Murakami had always helped me. He was always a faithful companion. Maybe I needed to go back to the well like Toru. Maybe it would help me to process things better. It couldn't go on like this. I owed it to my people. The ones who had been trapped for days were in a dark place, much like Toru. However, they were there involuntarily.
The point is not to resist the flow. You go up when you're supposed to go up. Go down when you're supposed to go down.
So like Toru, I had to move back into the depths and listen to the whispers from the well that would help me to move on. We have now entered a segment that takes place in Manchuria, a region in Northeast Asia. This part of the story is shared through the experiences of Lieutenant Mamiya, an old soldier Toru meets. Lieutenant Mamiya recounts his time in Manchuria during World War II. He is sent on a mission with another soldier to meet a special agent named Lieutenant Honda. While on their mission, they are captured by Russian and Mongolian soldiers. This is a very dangerous situation because the soldiers are brutal and do not follow the rules of war. Death is everywhere. The soldiers are facing harsh treatment. Lieutenant Honda in particular suffers greatly. He is tortured in a gruesome way, which leaves a lasting impression on Lieutenant Mamiya. By showing the brutality and suffering endured by characters like Lieutenant Mamiya, Murakami sheds light on the trauma inflicted by war. Many Japanese soldiers and civilians faced unimaginable hardships during the war, and their experiences left lasting scars on individuals and the society as a whole.
Memories and thoughts age just as people do. But certain thoughts can never age, and certain memories can never fade.
Sitting here in this dark well, I can't help but wonder about reality. What is it, really? Is it what I see and feel, or is there more to it? Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a dream, like everything around me is just an illusion. I am trapped in this book. What's going on in Murakami's mind as he writes it? Does he know the answers to all these questions about reality and existence? Or is he just as lost as I am? I mean, here I am, a character in his story, and I can't help but wonder if he's watching me right now, wondering what I'm thinking. Does he know that I'm questioning the nature of reality, or is he just writing whatever comes to mind, hoping it all makes sense in the end? It's a strange feeling, being inside someone else's imagination. Sometimes I wonder if I have a life beyond these pages, or if I'm just a figment of Murakami's imagination, destined to disappear once the book is closed. But then again, maybe that's just the well talking to me. Maybe I'm just overthinking things like I always do. Maybe reality is simpler than I think, and all I have to do is accept it for what it is. Or maybe not.
Which is better, I asked. It's not a question of better or worse. When there's no flow, stay still. If you resist the flow, everything dries up. If everything dries up, the world is darkness.
I was in the final stages of the book when I watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco. The plot centers on Jimmy Fails, a young man who tries to reclaim the Victorian-style house he grew up in as a child. As he struggles to reconnect with his family and reconstruct the community he longs for, his hopes blind him to the reality of his situation. In this movie, the characters face the threat of losing their home due to gentrification, a process that displaces long-time residents and reshapes the cultural fabric of neighborhoods. This loss of home echoes the theme of displacement that swiped through the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, particularly in the abandoned house of the Miyawaki family. Just as the characters in the movie struggle to hold onto their home, Toru navigates the misery of Tokyo, searching for a sense of belonging amidst the shifting urban landscape. The abandoned house of the Miyawaki family in the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is a significant location in the story. The house is located near Toru's home, and it becomes a focal point for him as he searches for answers about his missing wife. Inside the house, Toru discovers strange artifacts and experiences some miseries, such as hearing the sound of wind-up birds. The house is shrouded in misery, with rumors circulating about the fate of the Miyawaki family who used to live there. Losing your house unwillingly is an experience of displacement and loss. For those in Turkey who lost their homes in the earthquake, the abandoned house symbolizes the devastation and disruption caused by the disaster, while for those people in San Francisco who are facing gentrification, it may represent the loss of community and the displacement of long-time residents. In all cases, the experience of losing a home, whether due to a natural disaster, economic forces, or other circumstances, can be deeply traumatic and unsettling. Maybe reality is just a story we tell ourselves to make sense of the world. And maybe, just maybe, we'll never know the truth.
If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna meet some gentle people there.
But hey, at least I have plenty of time to think about it down here in the darkness. I think sometimes we should just lock ourselves away from this world and think. And once we get out again, we shall just take a deep breath and learn to appreciate the world and people around us before we lose them.
San Francisco, gentle people with flowers in their hair. All across the nation, such a strange vibration, people in motion. There's a whole generation with a new explanation. People in motion, people in motion. For those who come to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you come
to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other